So, the goal of this seminar and of this youth water dialogue is three simple things. We're looking and hoping for you guys to share your own experiences, to know more about the experiences of individuals living in the North, as well as to allow you guys to connect with each other to be able to learn more and have a dialogue about situations and the current water crisis going on in the North. We are
My name is Morgan, and I'm calling from Nunavut. I'm currently a student, and I'm interested in environmental issues, especially in topics that are related to water and climate change. And I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts and learning more about the challenges and opportunities that different communities are facing.
I'm 22 years old and I'm from Rankin Inlet. Sorry if I mispronounced that, Nunavut. I'm currently studying environmental science at the University of Manitoba. I'm interested in learning more about how climate change is affecting water systems in northern communities and hearing different perspectives from other participants. Wonderful, studying geography at the University of Alberta. Wow. So we have an environmental scientist, a climatologist, and a geologist. Wow, that's amazing. I'm 26 from Iqaluit. I'm a municipal engineering officer with transportation and infrastructure Nunavut. I help design and operate and maintain water supply systems for 25 communities in Nunavut. Wow. It's nice to meet you all. I just realized I haven't properly introduced myself, and neither has Justin. My name is Max. I'm located in Toronto, and me and Justin are just here to understand the water systems and share it with our community of students and such, just so that everybody can get a better understanding of how climate change and how the water systems work right now in Canada, especially since it's such a local issue to a lot of us. Justin?
One change I've noticed. Um, the water conditions here are not actually as predictable as they used to be. Yeah, that over time the um the conditions are not like that predictable when it comes to seasonal changes, especially with seasonal changes, and it gets to affect the availability and the quality of the water. And due to that, it can actually affect the daily cooking routines like cooking, getting to clean, and planning ahead and all those things. And water actually plays a huge role. Like you can't go a day without using water in your life, so it plays a huge role. Um, uh, uh, um, basically because is something we depend on for everything, yeah. So when there are issues affecting water, it impacts the whole community.
so I'm just curious, do you have any like specific anecdotes or times when you might have seen or around in your community that you might want to feel comfortable sharing?
Um, I haven't personally had to completely avoid using water, but there have been times where um, uh, the advisories, or the caution notice sometimes make people more careful about how they use it. But in situations like that, it's more about being cautious with drinking or making sure that the water is properly treated before using it. Yeah.
Who is it? Ryan, you are a engineer for water, help operate water supply and stuff, water supply systems. Do you guys go through any like filtration processes to ensure that your water is clean and so that the individuals don't have to take it into their own responsibility to make sure the water is clean and such and properly treated?
Yeah, that's the objective. Nunavut's striving towards a standardized water treatment across the territory, which is supposed to factor in the effects of climate change. Like it was like Jeff mentioned in there, permafrost and heavy rainfall, um, rapid snowmelt, they're all climate change impacts that are changing the water quality, and we're trying to make the facilities more resilient because there's a lot of impact when uh, a lot of distrust, I think, when communities always have to see the boil water advisories, and then they like often resort to using their more traditional water sources. So that's a bigger discussion maybe, but
How do you guys like monitor water quality? Is it like done like specifically every day, or is there like a gap in time, or is it like something that you guys are finding like you guys might need more infrastructure on, or how is it looking?
so there's new water plants which have real-time monitoring, like for example, Resolute Bay, um, at Royal Cove. Um, but often to get more data, which would be tracking climate change related parameters, would be done quarterly. Samples sent to labs in Ottawa, Winnipeg, or Yellowknife. Um, And we're also tracking new emerging contaminants, if you will, like PFAS, cryptosporidium, giardia. There's like emerging and algae emerging contaminants due to climate change.
What do you think would be an ideal amount of testing that you would like on your water? Like how often, or what would be your ideal metric of an amount for ensuring that the water you're consuming is safe?
Typically fall in majority of the buildings in Nunavut would often fall on to the housing association or the business who owns that building, or it's really the building owner.
And so Ryan's written in none of it bacteriological is for sampled more often than water, chemical, and physical parameters. And then there's sampling daily and overnight at a minimum within water plants. Oh, yeah, so I'm curious, is it the sampling daily overnight just for the bacteriological, or does it also apply for like water, chemical, and like physical parameters? And do you guys think you guys may want like more sampling or more testing of the water too, for like say something like algae or like a specific like toxic mineral or something?
Um, well, from my perspective, um, we try to follow the Canadian guidelines, which the territory should be trying to align with that, Department of Health, but they kind of said almost all the sampling. So it's typically how we see it, but we are trying to do more real-time monitoring. And that would be for like, is there enough disinfection, filtration? That's what is done within the community. All the other sampling, like bacteria, and is right now working on doing it within the community, but right now that has to be sent out. And also the water chemistry has to be sent out with chemical parameters, and it is get very expensive too, for the municipalities. So that's it's a risk-based thing, depending on how much they'll do it basically uh, above what is the minimum.
Just on what Courtney you wrote, you mentioned the consistency between channels, and I'm wondering then, as you point that out as one of the solutions, is that an issue that you personally face or you know of exists, where like either the medium of information I get from my local community telling me that the water is safe, maybe there's a discrepancy between that and what the government is telling me, or do you notice those inconsistencies right now? And is that why you put that as a solution, or is it just something that should just generally be something that like we should aim to do, have that consistency?
I was just curious as like what you think the biggest like gap right now is in terms of like operating these water systems. Is it like the access to data, how quick it is to get back like results, like the monitoring capacity or like the infrastructure to, be able to make sure the water is clean and drinkable?
Um, Kind of depends on the community, but I think a lot of the key gaps were mentioned, like the infrastructure needs to be upgraded, local capacity needs to be improved, the monitoring, testing locally needs to be improved, um, the communication needs to be improved, and that comes from the Department of Health. Like a lot of this discussion about how we want to see notification and reporting that large, like the operators and the engineers, we all know think what it is, but it comes down to the Department of Health, how they want to communicate it to the public. Um, so yeah, I don't want to say too much about them.
Yeah,
But yeah, does that answer the question?
yeah, for sure it does. Yeah, definitely sounds like yeah. And just another like curious part, because I've been reading and seeing how there's been usage of now like satellite-based mapping or remote sensing data to be try to be implemented for water monitoring. If anyone has like heard or have seen or like if it's been like ever implemented or if there's any barriers towards using it.